CASA, C-A-S-A, which means home in Spanish, actually stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. So it's Lycoming County Court and several other counties in the area that look for volunteers, swear-in volunteers, and then you're an advocate, basically, for the children that are going through foster care. I am a volunteer, so I'm a CASA, so I've been assigned 2 children. So it's a little complex bit of a system when you talk about children and youth and caseworkers and attorneys in the court, and often the children are somewhat intimidated by that. So my job as a CASA is, again, to advocate for them, to almost be like a big brother to them, to meet with them throughout each month, to support them, to see what their needs are. Sometimes they're not comfortable in that court environment, so you get them in a home environment, or you might go out to lunch, you might go shoot hoops at the park in the summer, and you just build a relationship.
The volunteer is the extra set of eyes for the court, and I'm the extra set of eyes for the volunteer. The most important thing that I need to do as a case manager is to supervise my volunteers. And by supervising, I mean to help them in any way possible to get to the facts of the case and to make sure that I'm there for them in case they run into a snag. I find ways for them to work with families. I keep records. I make sure all the information gets to the right places, and we recruit to get volunteers also.
Each of our volunteers brings their own unique set of skills and experiences that can really help the children that they work with. So, you know, it's a privilege as a case manager to be able to be part of that or be with them during that training. Virtue of the fact that they are volunteers means they're very committed to it, means they totally wanted to do this. And so they build a really meaningful, significant relationship with the child, and they are able to share a lot of wisdom and insight to the court system that maybe not everybody could.
Typically, the kids come into the foster care system because they've either been abused or neglected. So while the parents are working on themselves, you as a CASA and the court are working together to, you know, keep the child mentally healthy, physically healthy, and improve their skill set for reunification. Sadly, the average kid changes foster families 3 times. The role of the foster parent is typically, you know, to gain guardianship and to be a real father, a real mother to the kids. The role of the CASA is to help that process, all right? But you're looking at it from every angle. To become a CASA, you got to be a good person. That's the only requirement, and you got to go through the 5-week training. You've got to be sworn in by the judge, so once you're approved, that's really the only training you need. Just be a good person and be willing to commit some time and to help people out. There's classes. One's coming up January 31st, so it's a 5-week class. You go once a week. In this day and age, it's online still due to COVID. So you attend these classes a couple hours, then you have sort of homework that you do throughout the week. So you learn everything there is about being an advocate, paperwork, the legal jargon, but still the center of it is being that advocate for the child. So the training starts in a couple days here, January 31st, 2022. You can go to SusquehannaValleyCASA.com. Every CASA volunteer is different. Every CASA child is different. So it's almost like an individualized service plan for each child. And I can just tell you that the CASA is a critical part of that service plan.
We can't afford to lose any more children. We can't afford to lose them to drugs, alcohol, homelessness, whatever. We just can't afford it. Our country, our world can't afford it. We got to save our children. That's why I do it. Just please give us a try. We really need you. Our children need you more than anything else in the world.
At UPMC, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer, and we're working to prevent it. We're advancing new technology to look more closely at disease and helping you breathe easier. We perform the world's first heart-liver transplant, and we're experts at keeping your heart beating strong. We're a global team of more than 90,000, advancing care everywhere and delivering it closer to you. UPMC, life-changing medicine.